Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Sneezing Monkey and today I am very angry. Why am I angry? Because soon there's a new Call of Duty coming out, as we all know. Black Ops 2 is just a few days away literally, and all the podcasts and the internet goes crazy, everyone talks about the game, and everything you hear from these supposedly, well-renowned game journalists is that they say, oh, Call of Duty never really worked for me because it's just like a never-ending wave of enemies and they keep respawning, and the narrative also wasn't really compelling. And it's like, dude, where have you been? Did you ever even play this game? 95% of people play this because of the multiplayer, and they play it because it works. And then you, at least mostly, and then you see games that are just coming out like Medal of Honor Warfighter, or what's the name, and I watched the Let's Play, and it's just incredible how they copy every mechanic that Call of Duty, at least Modern Warfare, used. It just seems like as if they think, if they copy the idea that you breach a room with some explosive and then like in slow motion enter the room and kill everyone, you have the same success. It is like so much more complex than that. Okay, let's stick with the example of Warfighter, right? These guys, to start with, use the Frostbite engine. You cannot create a game that seriously wants to compete with Call of Duty by using the Frostbite engine, because the Frostbite engine is very slow paced, it's quite sluggish, and it's not very responsive. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There are a lot of people who love this and they love the way how Battlefield feels, and that's absolutely fine with me, but the majority of first-person shooter players who play it competitively, they just want really responsive controls. They want to move the mouse and with 0.01 second delay the screen to move. And if a game doesn't deliver that, then you can copy as much game elements of other games as you want. You will never achieve the success of this game because you're not delivering on the very basic level, which is a fantastic mechanic. And I really don't understand how games like Warfighter, Medal of Honor Warfighter, can come out still today by just literally copying all these ideas and being like not at all innovative. It's just ridiculous. And how can they hope that they are successful with this? I mean, of course they might sell 1 million copies or something and that's considered a success. But if you want to be a major player in the first-person shooter multiplayer universe, if you want to call it that, then you need to innovate. And innovation, in my opinion, in this genre doesn't happen with visuals and graphics and it all needs to look super realistic. No, before it looks realistic, it needs to feel right. And if you don't get that right in the first place, then you can't keep adding layers to that make it visually stunning and spectacular, so you can cut a great trailer out of it, but it just will not be enough for a game that is really accepted by the community, because this kind of concept doesn't sustain itself. One thing that you can also score on is that you release like an editor and a software development kit with your game when it comes out, so the people can create content, the people can create mods, they can modify the game and make it as they want to play it. But I don't see anything in this, in whether it's Warfighter or Medal of Honor or Homefront, right? So anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, and it would be appreciated if this could kind of start a discussion, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who thinks like this. I come from games like Quake, which are obviously really responsive, and they are really spot on when it's about translating your actions on the mouse or on the controller into the computer and the machine. So probably I expect that from a good game, but maybe you have a different opinion, and if you have, or if you share my opinion, then just leave me a comment. And give me a like. Maybe that would really help to get the video popular, because I would love to see a bigger discussion around these issues that obviously most first-person shooters have and that are ignored by people. Rather discuss this than just how the single-player narrative works. I mean, if you have a game like Spec Ops: The Line, it's absolutely fine to put the emphasis on the single player, and in that case it doesn't need to feel so responsive to me. But if you're hoping to live kind of up there with the Call of Duties, and the 12 million or whatever they sell of each game, then you need to play by these rules, I think. And you know, otherwise, just make a single-player game, make it a great narrative, put the focus on the story, you know, make it really nice and deep and complex with different layers of storytelling, and then it's great and people will love it. But don't pretend to be a first-person shooter that works in multiplayer and that's competitive, because that's just wrong, and it makes me really angry that all these games try to do that. Another really important thing that needs to be mentioned is the netcode of Modern Warfare. It's something that is often overlooked, you know, but it's just such an important thing that the hitbox, as they call it, is just on the enemy player and not a centimeter before or behind him. The new Modern Warfare games already kind of screwed up with that because they used IWNet, as we all know, but it's a nightmare. It comes from the consoles, it's just way too slow. I mean, if I play Black Ops 1, which still had dedicated servers, it's just such a different experience. You actually hit the person, you know, it's much closer to the idea of a competitive shootout, like a paintball game or something, where both of you have the same setup and, you know, it's just about responses and reacting quick enough to the situation. And I really think at this point it has to be mentioned how much Call of Duty and Activision, and Treyarch, and Infinity Ward benefited from the work of id Software, because all the Call of Duty games are based on the Quake engine and on the netcode of the Quake engine. And I really believe that that's why they sell so well, because these guys wrote a fantastically clean engine that just works incredibly well. It has its visual limitations, but the benefits just outnumber the downsides by a million. And we can see that in the selling numbers of Call of Duty. Anyway guys, I just want to get that off my chest. Thanks for watching the video. I see you next time. Bye.